Hello everyone, welcome to another ISMONO podcast. In this episode, I do not have a guest with me, but I want to talk to you about expensive bags of the luxury, but maybe also the mainstream space, and I will do a screen recording. So if you're listening in the audio version on Spotify or Apple Podcast, I would suggest to go to the video version that you find on my channel. That being said, I will try to explain everything that I see on my screen in this screen recording. I will try to explain it as good as possible. So if you're just listening to the audio, you will understand what I'm talking about as good as possible. And before we start this talk about expensive bags, I looked up a couple of few brands that I kind of want to react to, not really talk about it in a very informative way, but kind of just go through these expensive options and react to them a little bit. But before we do that, I did a story on Instagram at the bow to ask about a couple of Q&A questions, and I want to go through them first so that if you're listening to this in the audio version, you have something just to listen to before we go into the screen recording. And let's start with the first question that is from Elaine. How would you choose your ideal everyday carry? And I think that is a very difficult question to answer because this is why I love the bag enthusiast space. It is such a personal and very individual choice to make what kind of bag you want to carry or what kind of bag you need to carry, because we all have different loadouts, different requirements of what we need and want to carry, and therefore our choice for our everyday carry bag is totally different from person to person. And I think that is the beauty of this bag enthusiast niche. And therefore I can just kind of say, if you're choosing your personal perfect everyday carry bag, it is all about trying to determine what do you want to carry on a daily basis and what you can comfortably carry around. Obviously, if we have a lot of space, we sometimes tend to overpack, but also if it's not enough, then obviously it gets a little bit of a chore to pack the bag as good as possible. And therefore, I would say try to figure out what you want to pack, how much you want to pack. For example, do you need a laptop compartment, or do you work on a desktop computer anyways? Are you considering needing a little bit of expandability if you tend to go grocery shopping after work? So a roll top might be a very good option for you. For me personally, I tend to like 20-liter capacity backpacks because I am the kind of person who sometimes tends to overpack a little bit. Therefore, 20 liters is a good place for me to kind of get all of my work essentials with me without overpacking. And then if it gets too full, I really think about, okay, do I really need to carry this to work today? For most situations, I do prefer clamshell opening backpacks because it is much easier to load and unload the bag. And if you don't want to fully open it, because some people kind of argue that, I don't like clamshell because everything falls out. If you don't open up the bag completely, then it's kind of like a top-loading backpack. Therefore, you have basically the best of both worlds. When it comes down to travel backpacks, I always go with clamshell opening because I just don't want to dig around the bag to find something that is at the bottom of the bag. So I rather have a clamshell opening backpack, see exactly where everything is. It is much easier to load and unload. For traveling, clamshell is the way to go in my humble opinion. Obviously, I did not really answer the question as sufficiently as you potentially have been hoping for, but as I said, it is such an individual choice to make. And that's what I kind of like about this bag enthusiast space. So the next question is by Raja Tone. If you could take a year and travel around with only one bag, what would it be? That's a good question that I find very difficult to answer because I'm not the kind of person who travels with one bag only, but I really want to try on my vacation where I will go in October. I'm going to Thailand, if you haven't seen it in my previous videos. On that trip, I will go to a Muay Thai camp, so I will have a check-in bag. However, I want to kind of challenge myself and have my fight gear in my check-in bag, but then pack a bag as if I would travel with just one bag. And since it is vacation, I'm not taking a laptop. I might have one or two small cameras, so the DJI Pocket and maybe another stills camera, but nothing too much. So I have enough space to carry some clothing and stuff like that and treat it as if I would travel with just one bag. And for that, I was highly considering the Black Amber Forge because I love that bag. You can compress down to 20 liters, which gives me a pretty good bag for day trips, but it can expand it to 30 liters and therefore be able to use it as a one bag travel solution. So I think having best of both worlds plus a really cool admin panel compartment in the front to put in all of the gear or stuff that I would need during the flight. For example, I definitely will carry my Anbernic RG35XX Plus. For the audio listeners, I hold up my retro gaming device that will fit perfectly in the front admin panel to keep everything a little bit organized. As a personal item, I will probably carry my Evergoods CAS2, and I could see myself actually comfortably traveling with the Black Amber Forge and the Evergoods CAS2 as my only bag options for traveling for a year. Obviously, if I would be traveling for a year, I can imagine also carrying a laptop, and I am highly considering either getting the MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro 14-inch. Not sure yet which way to go. And I can see that I would be traveling with that computer. So that would also fit in the Black Amber Forge. So right now, I would really consider the Black Amber Forge as a traveling option. That being said, I really like the Topo Design 40-liter travel bag that I reviewed many years before, and that bag was amazing. And if I would travel with just one bag, I could also see myself traveling with that bag, not the 40-liter version, because I think it's not carry-on friendly for the size, but there is a smaller version. I would love to try that bag again if I would be traveling for a year. So the next question is from Parmesan Papi 17. What's an absolute deal breaker when you're thinking about getting a bag? That's also a good question. I think if it comes down to features, if there would not be a quick access compartment, which I don't use as a compartment on a regular day-to-day basis, but for me that is the place that is good to quickly store your essentials if you're going through the security check at an airport, or if I'm in the office and I just don't want to have my wallet or my keys in my pockets. I like that pocket, that quick access compartment to be there just to quickly drop in my essentials. But I would not use it as I think it's more or less a temporary stash compartment and not necessarily a compartment that I would use all of the time. But I do need that compartment, or not I need it, but I really want to have it. And if a bag does not have a quick access compartment, that would definitely deter me from getting that bag. Obviously, things like build quality and comfortability, I take that out of the equation because I think that is a given. Every bag should have those points checked. So I think that is something it is important to have, but that's not, if a bag is not well made, I wouldn't consider it anyways. So yeah, quick access compartment. What else? Oh, not detachable waist belt. I think that is probably the reason why I've never considered a hiking backpack, because most hiking backpacks have, as far as I know, or as far as I have seen, most of those hiking bags are not able, or most of the time are not able to detach the waist belt. And for me, I understand why they are there, and for hiking bags they are very important, but I personally have never needed waist belts. So if for example there are a couple of everyday carry bags where potentially there is a waist belt that is not detachable, then I would not get that bag. Next question from Senna Take Sarah. Probably butchered that name, sorry about that. How to find the perfect size for EDC bags? And I think that comes is a little bit in line with the first question. I think you need to determine what you want to pack on an everyday carry basis. So maybe find all of the stuff that you want to carry, lay it down flat on the ground, and kind of determine or evaluate, will I need to carry all of that stuff? And that's how you kind of can see, oh, okay, I might need that, but that item is not that important. And then you can kind of chuck that away from that overview. And with that overview, it is much easier for you to determine what size of bag you might need. Obviously, with that overview, you don't really know, okay, that is 20 liters of stuff. So it would be a good idea. I assume that you already have at least one backpack. If you know that size of that backpack, then you can take all of that stuff, put it inside that backpack, and kind of determine, oh, this might be the capacity that I should get in the future. And I think that could get you in a good ballpark, but a good rule of thumb, I would say something in the 20 liter-ish ballpark should be sufficient enough for most people. But I also have this video, what bag size do I need, on my channel. It's an old video, but it's still very informative. Maybe check out that video. The next question by Hisian say 2022, and I'm sorry, I know who that person is, but I don't know how to pronounce that name. So I'm really sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of that name. I know who you are, so I'm really sorry if I never learned how to pronounce that username. I'm sorry about that. Do we really need more than a couple of bags? Are we more of bag collectors than bag users? And this comes from a person who I know is a very enthusiast bag collector and bag user. And I know that he's using a lot of different bags. So I kind of understand where this question is coming from. And there's this saying, I honestly don't know who actually said it first, that bags are the new sneakers. And to some degree, we bag enthusiasts are probably more in line of these sneakerheads that collect sneakers, but also somewhat wear them. Some of them are only in boxes to, collect. And I think we are a little bit in that line as well, but we are more likely to use those bags. And I think we are collectors, but many of us also kind of collect and then stick to one bag in the end anyways. So this is a really difficult question to properly answer. But I think, in this bag enthusiast world, many of us are collectors, but many of us are also always in search for the best bags that we need. Unfortunately, in big air quotes, unfortunately, our loadouts change a lot because, for example, technology changes, and I think a laptop is a very good example. Tech tends to evolve. Laptops either get bigger or they get smaller. For example, the MacBook Pro. On one hand, it gets smaller, but on the other hand, suddenly we have a 16-inch MacBook Pro as well, so it gets a little bit bigger. then the need for the charger gets a little bit intense and therefore bigger as well. So we have to change our loadout. And even though we are always searching for the next best bag and we imagine or we think, oh, now we got the best bag, then suddenly it's, oh no, my tech has changed or my loadout has changed and therefore I might need a new bag. But that's also kind of the fun of it, I think. And the next question from him again, analyze the true return of investment on purchasing an expensive bag. And also the next question is from him as well, are expensive bags truly more durable? And I think I can kind of group this together. I think the return of investment of a bag is always a little bit unnoticeable to many people, because what many people kind of forget, or at least I have the perception that people kind of forget it, is that you use that bag every single day, or at least 5 days a week for work. For example, if we're talking about everyday carry bags, every single day, every single weekday, the whole day to carry your most essential, but more importantly, your most important and valuable items. For example, your laptop. And even if you don't carry your laptop, your work items, those work items like documents, for example, or if you're going to school, those books, those things are important, an important tool for you to earn money or to learn your skill set to then earn money. So it is one of the most essential tools that you use every single day to carry around the most important items to make a living, to protect your investment and stuff like that. And therefore it kind of goes under the radar because you obviously value the items inside much more and you think those items are much more important. Therefore you kind of forget the bag that is carrying all of those items, that protect all of your items. And if you're a little bit into fashion, that item is the biggest thing on your body that you can see. So in best case scenarios, it also looks good on you and it's not ugly. And therefore, I think the return of investment, in my humble opinion, is really quick. It returns really fast because you use it every single day or at least every single weekday to carry all of your items. And if you consider this over 1 or 2 years, let's even consider you take a very expensive bag. Let's say you buy the Gorok GR2 26 liters, I believe. And that's, let's say it's 500 euros with custom fees and stuff like that. Let me just get the calculator. So you have, let's just, to make it easy, let's take 365 days. Let's say 500 euros divided by 365 days. Is that the right calculation? Yeah, that's the right calculation. So it's €1 37 cents per day that you invest to use that bag. And if you think about it that way, I think that is a very cheap investment per day. That's not even a coffee that you buy. So it's €1 37 cents per day that you invest. And I think if you use it at least 1 year, probably you will use it 4 years at least. And even if after 4 years or after 2 years you think I need to buy a new bag, I think, in my humble opinion, the investment was worth it. But that's just me because I value bags. I carry a lot of equipment that needs to be protected. And I think not everyone is buying a 500 euros bags to kind of consider that an expensive investment. I think most people will probably buy something around 150 to 200 euros of a bag. And then even that return of investment is much faster. And getting into, are expensive bags truly more durable? That is actually a good segue into what I want to do next. Also, there was another question from Hit the Road. It's the Wotan Craft Lightning Rider. Really want to hear your thoughts about this bag. I honestly don't know about that bag. I heard a lot of good things about Wotan Craft, but I've never tested a bag from them, so I can't really answer your question. And yes, really sorry about that, but maybe I can review one in the future. But now segueing to if expensive bags are more durable, I would say if you are listening to the audio podcast right now, switch over or stop the podcast here and switch over to the video version at around the 20-minute mark. All right. And the first bag that I kind of want to talk about, or the first brand that I really want to talk about, is Louis Vuitton. And yes, the most bags that I will cover now and where we kind of react to, or where I kind of react to. And I think if you look at some of these bags and the pricing of these bags, it will give you a new perspective on the bags that we are spending our money on. And as soon as you see the pricings of some of these bags, your mind will be blown, in my humble opinion, and B, you will think, oh, that 300 bag that I want to buy from, I don't know, brand X and Y, that's not that expensive. And I will use that every single day. So I think this is actually a pretty cool reaction. So Louis Vuitton, they have backpacks, as you can see here. And let's look at the prices. Holy shit. We start with 2,600 euro for this Monsoiree Mini. I failed in French, so I probably butchered the pronunciation, but let's go a little bit further down. Tote bags. As I said in one of my previous videos, tote bags are totally, in my humble opinion, on the rise, and many people will start carrying tote bags. These are starting, they're the cheapest, in air quotes, 1,500. Wow. I want to see a sling bag, maybe, because that would be something. Oh, here, a wallet on a chain, 1,600. And I just want to get an overview first for all of the pricings. Okay, this mini bum bag or high-rise bum bag, that could be a sling bag, 1,700. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Okay, we see here the model is carrying the sling bag. I would say, just from looking at it, maybe a 3-liter sling bag. Let's go to product details. Doesn't even say the capacity. So this is all in German. It is coated monogram canvas. So the monogram is the logos that is so iconic for Louis Vuitton. It's made out of cow leather. It has a zippered compartment on the back, a main compartment with a zipper, a D-ring with an address hanger made out of leather. This product is made in France, Spain, Italy, or in the US. Okay, no, it's 38 centimeters, 16 centimeters. Okay, so no real capacity description, but as you can see here, I would say it's maybe a 2.5 liter-ish bag. And yeah, I think this is a good start into prices of sling bags. And if anyone's telling you, hey, why is your backpack or your sling bag so expensive? Point them to Louis Vuitton and tell them, hey, some people wear Louis Vuitton or Gucci bags. Those are over 1,000 euros. So my bag is not expensive. I think that should be your argument in the future if someone is telling you that bag is too expensive, in my humble opinion. Speaking of, I just said Gucci bags, right? So I also looked at Gucci bag because the kids are really into Gucci as far as I know at the moment. So Gucci bags. So these are female handbags. So I don't want to go over these because I want to kind of have a similar comparison to bags that are somewhat in line of the bags that we are using. So backpacks, sling bags, maybe a tote bag. So, all right, what could be duffel bags? Let's see, Gucci. Okay, tote bag. This would be a tote bag. Looks a little bit So you can compare the tote bag like the Bellroy Tokyo Wonder tote or the Alpaca Gia Metro tote. So that's not the right comparison, but we're just looking at tote bags. And this one is 1,500, and I would say that has a capacity of maybe 12 liters. Let's see. They never say how big it is. They say the dimensions, but they do not say capacity. So that is something that I did not expect, that these fashion luxury brands do not specify the volume. So I guess capacity and volume is just something for us peasants who buy these normal bags. So if you're rich, you don't need to know what kind of capacity your bag has. Well, they say in the bottom, this bag has enough space for an iPhone Pro Max plus AirPods, a long wallet, and one lipstick. That is an interesting description of what you can fit into this bag. Interesting. All right, let's go back to the overview. I want to see if they have something in line of what we use, like a sling bag or something. But yeah, as you can see here, it's 1,000 euros up. And here we go. That could be somewhat of a sling bag. This is a shoulder bag, a mini shoulder bag, 1,490 euros. Enough. This is so funny. And it says, has space for one iPhone Plus, AirPods, a slim wallet, just for cards, and one lipstick. So that's what you can fit into this 1,490 euros mini shoulder bag. This is so funny and I think you can fit more in there. I don't know why they say it only fits those 4 items, excuse me. Interesting. I think, honestly, besides, I don't like the print, but I do like this kind of cylindric shape to it. But honestly, there's not much to it. It's just one main compartment with a zipper where I don't really see what kind of zipper it is. And you see this. Why is there such a huge gap on that zipper here? Doesn't that zipper pole just fall off that zipper? This is really weird, and I would consider that a bad design choice, especially for 1,400 euro bag. If that zipper pole could kind of dislodge itself really easily from that zipper, that is not great. Hey Gucci, maybe you should give me a bag to review. That would be so fun, right? If I would get like a Gucci bag to review. I would find so many negatives, and I would really be really harsh on that. But again, as I said, I feel like the bags that we usually review and look at, and we are so obsessed with criticizing prices, and I understand it. I'm still, don't get me wrong, if you get a 100 euro bag, that is a lot of money. I'm not saying it is okay that we, in air quotes, just pay 100, 200, 300 euros. That is a lot of money for a bag. But I feel that those bags you get your return of investment really fast. And I think it is good to invest in a good backpack that carries all of your essentials. And yes, that is a lot of money, but you get back your money's worth, in my humble opinion. And seeing these types of luxury bags now also with that zipper pull there, where I think that is a huge design flaw, especially at that price point, it gives me at least a new perspective on bags in general that I usually review. Again, most of the bags that I review are expensive, and it is a lot of money, and I'm not saying otherwise. It is a lot of money, but I think you get your money's worth, and most of the times, considering how much you will use it, the choices of materials. The bags that I usually review are also very well made and have a lot of good features. I think the pricing of most bags that I review is justified most of the time. And I'm just trying to give you a little bit more perspective on what's out there, and just really thinking about that if you invest that much money into your bag, or you think, oh, that 200 euros that I spent, that I want to invest in that bag, that is so much money, and it is, but it is a good investment where you get your return of investment back really fast, in my humble opinion. So going back to this reaction, let's go to another fashion luxury brand, which is Yves Saint Laurent, and also probably butchered that name. I already can hear my wife that she's kind of laughing at me how I said that. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what do we have here. I want to see again something that is a little bit comparable to what we would potentially carry. Let's go with this huge tote bag. I would also consider it. Oh no, I would say this is somewhat kind of shopping bag, beach carrier. So this Yves Saint Laurent eye care maxi shopping bag in quilted lambskin. Okay, if it's lambskin, that's probably really expensive. 4,100 euros. Maxi shopping bag with toggle closure, featuring a removable zip pouch decorated with carry quilted overstitching and the new sculpted jewel Cassandre. Not sure what that is. Also does not say the volume. That's so interesting that only we, or the bags that I review, have the capacity mentioned. Can be worn white or with closed size, light bronze tone metal hardware, detachable metal chain toggle closure, interior one removable zip pouch, gross grain lining, lambskin, brass, made in Italy. So not much to it. Basically, just to oversimplify it, one lambskin made into a bag. That's it. Put on some handles. That's it. To oversimplify, of course. No, not a lot of features. Oh, okay, this zippered compartment here is in there, which kind of looks like a regular clutch. But yeah, as you can see, that is very expensive. Let's go back again. Let's take a look at this Lou clutch. This is obviously a female handbag. Oh, this is a camera bag, a Lou camera bag in quilted leather. Let's see. Let's, at least if it's a camera bag, show us what it looks like inside. It doesn't show what's inside. So how do we know that it is a camera bag? More details. One flat interior pocket. Why do you call it camera bag? I don't get it. 1,450 euros. Wow. That is so weird to me that I think obviously if you are a specific brand, you totally expect people just to buy your stuff. You don't need to get out that much information. But I feel like this is a little bit lackluster for such a big brand and such an expensive, I assume high quality bags. It's 4 pictures and no pictures of the inside. How the hell are you supposed to know if you can use that bag? That is weird. And again, a very high price tag. Next bag, and I'm sticking to the most expensive bags to the end. Let's take a bag that probably some of you know if you watch the Casey Neistat videos, but also you potentially have seen those bags on the airport, and that company is Tumi. Tumi is I would say, high-class travel bag company. They have a lot of rolling luggage, backpacks that if you watch Casey Neistat, you probably know the backpack that he wore. So let's start with backpacks. And So, okay, this is more in line of what we usually know, but still in the upper price tag. It starts with 550 euros for this navigation rucksack and goes up to 750, 810. Okay, here we go. 2,290 for a backpack. Let's take a look at this one. The Tumi McLaren. Oh, that's probably a collaboration backpack, and therefore it is so expensive. It is made out of CXH carbon fiber and supposedly to be remind you of as a design of a automotive, but that does not look like a car to me. So you have top loading, main compartment. Oh, that does not look great. Honestly, I do not like this look at all. Luggage pass through, cable hole for a power bank. Yeah, no, that doesn't look that great. I would not buy this. But again, I think this gives you a little bit perspective on some of the pricings. And honestly, I don't like those looks at all. This is not for me. Here, let's take the Alpha X. This is quite similar to the bag that Casey Neistat wore. It's not the same, but it kind of reminds me of it. And yeah, I can see people liking this because it has a lot of slots, a lot of compartments to kind of organize all of your stuff, but it does not look great. I would not buy this for 750 because to me that is very subjective. This is very ugly. Yeah, but those are the pricings for Tumi. Let's just look at rolling luggage. Let's look at some carry-ons. So this is it's called short trip carry, 66 centimeters. I assume this is carry-on friendly. This does look pretty cool from the interior, and I do not mind the overall look. It is 950 for the 66 centimeter version. The 55 centimeters international is 850. I assume this is the one that you can use as a carry-on for traveling. I kind of like this one, to be honest. I don't mind this. The features look great. And overall, the look from the outside, it's not bad. I kind of like it. Would not buy it for 850, to be honest, but I do like the look. Don't mind. Next, if we're talking about luggage, I think one brand that is so very known for their traveling luggage is Rimowa. They are known for very high quality and also their aluminium lineup of luggage. And they are also known, I'm not sure if they still do it, but in the past, I always knew people, I only buy Rimowa because there is a Rimowa store in every single airport. If my aluminium luggage case breaks, I can go to that airport store and they will repair it on the spot. And that's at least what people told me back then. And back then I always wanted a Rimowa aluminium case, but they were obviously very expensive. But that customer service feature that everyone told me about, not sure if it's actually was true, but everyone who had this aluminium case, directors, for example, many directors that I knew had this case, and they told me, yeah, of course, my roll broke. I went to that store and they repaired it. Not sure if that's actually true, but everyone who I knew and that were actually quite a few. So for those of you who don't know, I'm working in the film industry and I know a lot of producers and a lot of directors. And I know back then a lot of those had Rimowa aluminium cases. Let's take a look let's go to bestsellers and maybe we see, for example, this is one case that I knew a couple of people using. It's very small, but it was also very popular. So this is the Pilot, 1,270 euros, made out of aluminium, and damn, that thing looks amazing. How heavy is that? 4.5 kilograms. Wow, that is heavy. Not sure if with the limitations of carry-on getting much more strict, not sure if you can actually carry that. Let's take a look at a different, here, original cabin. This is the one I also have seen a lot. This aluminum, also amazing looking carry-on luggage. Also, let's see the weight, 4.3 kilogram. Holy crap, that is heavy. But it looks amazing, right? And I feel 1,180, I feel like it is justified. Maybe. I wouldn't buy it, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't buy it, but I feel for an aluminum case and bag that you can throw around, no, maybe it's still, maybe 800 or something. Don't know. I've never bought a bag like that, but just from, if someone would ask me how much do you think this is worth, and they say it's 1,180, I think, I would say, that doesn't surprise me. So again, this just gives you some perspective on the bags. And I just want to take a look at the backpacks. Whew. Wow, see this one? This is a very simple bag. This is just a top-loading bag. Not much to it. 1,190. Drop in 2 metal buckles. I think before I buy this, I would rather buy a Drake bag made of wax canvas or something. This is ridiculous. I think this is way too much. 1,190 euros for this is stupid, in my humble opinion. But what is also stupid, and this is also from Rimowa, I think I saw this on Instagram, and I thought this was looking so cool, and then I saw the pricing, because I first saw it and I said, this is amazing, I want that. And then I saw the pricing and I was like, nope, that's not for me. You see that this is a sling bag made out of aluminium that reminds you of the aluminium rolling luggage, but in the form factor of a sling bag. And I think this is so cool. I really like the look. And then I saw the pricing, which is 1,320 euros. So even more expensive than the rolling luggage, which I do not understand. How the hell are they justifying the pricing if they have a bag that is bigger, much better in their lineup that is, I don't know, what was the pricing, that is at least 200 euros cheaper? How can they justify this? I don't get it. Nevertheless, this looks amazing. I would love to have this. And yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. 1,180 for the original cabin roller. And this is much more expensive, much smaller. What's the size of this? 1 liter of capacity. I don't know. Why is this so expensive? In green, it looks cool. Yeah, I would probably get it in green or in silver, but not for the price. I thought this would be like 100 euros, maybe 200, but not 1,300. This is ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous bags, now let's go to the bag that I wanted to talk about, because this bag is the bag that blew my mind. This is the luxury bag that I got this information from my wife. So this bag is only built to order, or they have this and you need to be somewhat invited to be able to buy it. You don't get it, but you be able to buy it. So this is a high exclusive bag that you cannot buy new if you're not like a really important person or a very rich person that wear MS. And I spoiled it now. I'm talking about the MS Birkin bag. You cannot just buy this. And therefore, you can see ridiculous pricings on the used market. So if you search for the MS Birkin bag, which, let's go to the MS sites first. So this is a bag that has a lot of heritage and has been and still is very popular in the luxury space. If you watch the Kardashians, for example, you see those bags. If you watch any rich person, you probably see that bag as well. These are, as far as I understand, only built to order or only are presented or being made available to very important or very rich people. And so, as I said, you only, as far as I understand, we peasants, let's say it that way, we peasants can only buy it in the used market. And if you Google Hermes Birkin bag, you see these here. Hermes Birkin 35 Togo gold, used 17,440 euros. Next one, used Hermes Birkin 30 Epsom blue navy 20,800. Let's take a look at this. Also, they're also always made out of these really exotic materials like crocodile leather. I don't know what else. Some other leather of some animal that I probably do not know. And yeah, look at this tiny bag. This is 20,000 euros. This is crazy. And this is used. This is a used bag. Let's check out shopping a little bit more. Let's check out more price. 35,000 euros for this MS bag. Here, made out of crocodile. 60,500. This is crazy. Look at this. In my humble opinion, ugly. Please don't use crocodile leather. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Yeah, 60,000 euros. 75,000 euros. 12. This is crazy, right? 51,000 euros. So, yeah, just wanted to give you a perspective of these kind of expensive fashion bags. This what's going on there. The pricings are crazy. And again, I'm totally aware the pricing or the money that we spend on bags, that is a lot of money. I'm not saying otherwise. 100 euros is a lot of money. 200 euros, even more. 300 euros, 4, 5, that's a lot of money. I totally get that. But we enthusiasts, we working people, we use bags on a daily basis. We carry expensive equipment like a MacBook Pro or your Razer Blade. Is it called Blade? I'm not sure. Your laptop, your work laptop, your items for school, your work documents, stuff like that. You carry that on a daily basis. Or if you have a fashion sense, you want to dress nicely or in style, and then why not invest in a bag, the biggest item on your body that looks good, right? So it is an investment. It is a lot of money. You invest in a bag, but that investment, the money that you spend off that, there is the return and the time you use it is worth it. Because let's be real, some of us buy 100 euro sneakers and will wear them only for a year. A backpack, a bag, a sling bag, you will at least use 2 years, at least. Some of you use it even longer. Some of you even inherited a bag from their parents that holds up a lifetime. So I can imagine having a Go-Rug bag, and then if I had a kid, then giving that bag to my kid. I can totally see that if it's a good bag. So if you're choosing a bag and you have the money, don't spend money willy-nilly on a bag that you don't have the money for it, and then don't do that, of course. But if you're considering buying a bag to protect your other gear, your other investment, and you think to yourself, I'm not sure if I want to spend that much money, reconsider. Think about how much you will use that bag, then break it down, as I said, or as I did in the previous example. Take the amount of money, 100 euros, for example, divided by 365 days, and then you see, that's just that amount of money per day. That's totally worth it. Then you rethink, I'm not going to use that just 1 year. I'm going to use it 2 years. Then that's easy. I mean, that's easier to justify to spend that kind of amount of money. So as I said, I think investing in a good bag is totally worth it. And still, I understand sometimes, or not sometimes, most of the times that is a lot of money, but consider how you want to invest it. Consider how you will have that return of investment over a longer period of time. And also consider, hey, are you wearing some sneakers? How much were they? And are you really going to use them for more than a season, for more than a year? Be honest with yourself. You're probably saying, yeah, maybe I wear it 1.5 years, but then it's basically not really usable. And then you potentially, or it's usable, but most of the times we like to buy new sneakers. And yeah, kind of compare it with the bag. And then you think to yourself, oh, it's not that bad to invest in the bag that I will use at least 2, 3, 4 years. All right, that was it with this quick little reaction and podcast. How did you like this? Do you like when I kind of react to stuff? Let me know in the comment section below of this YouTube video. And what do you think about expensive bags? Also, kind of tell me in the comment section below what you think about the pricings of these luxury bags. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and for watching this new type of podcast, this reaction podcast. And I have a couple of new guests lined up for the next episode. So yeah, this was just a one-off of me just reacting. Thank you very much for listening and for watching, and I see you in the next podcast. Thank you very much.